As someone who has found themselves getting into slumps all the time, not wanting to leave bed, feeling super unmotivated, and overall just straight up depressed, and then having slightly better days to the point where I can get myself out of that rut and feel productive, to then have life get back in the way again, and it just turned into this absolute vicious cycle. You could say I'm the queen of being in a slump, but also getting myself out of a slump, and officially could say that I am pretty consistent of staying out of my slump era. So I'm going to be giving you guys my 10-step guide on how to get your life back together and to never get in a slump again. Step number 1 of my 10-step guide is having self-awareness. Before you even move on with the rest of this video, you need to make sure that you actually have a well enough understanding of yourself to notice and recognize the triggers of not only yourself getting into a slump and falling back into that rut, but things that will also make you more productive and then get you out of said slump. Make sure you're self-aware, make sure you have a good understanding, and make sure you actually recognize the things that will get you in and out of a slump, so that way you can either avoid or use them to your advantage so that you can be completely and utterly productive as a human. Leading right into step number 2, which is the productivity trigger. Okay, this is going to be your number 1 best friend for getting yourself out of a slump, or even if you're not in a slump, but you lost track of your habits, you went on vacation, things happen, life happens, and you don't want to fall into the slump, but you're not necessarily in your routine yet, and you have to turn your brain off of vacation mode. I love to use the productivity trigger, and this is solely based on you and you alone, but my productivity trigger is I have to plan out my week. I have my Notion, I have my second brain. If you know that's what you guys want to use, go ahead by all means. But if I don't plan out my day and I don't plan out my week, I immediately think that I don't have anything to do. Therefore, my brain will stay stuck in vacation mode because obviously I'm not planning out my day and things I have to get done while I'm on vacation. So the first thing I like to do is Monday, sit down, create deadlines for myself, and actually write in things I have to do every single day so that when I wake up on that day, I know I have things to get done and things I have to do. So I can't lay in bed, I can't go on my phone and watch Instagram or go on YouTube all day. I have things to do. We have to get them done, and we're gonna be productive humans. So whatever that is for you, to tell your minds like, hey, vacation mode off, productivity on, let's get it going. That is what you need to do so that you don't fall into that slump, or if you are in a slump, you can then get out of it a little bit quicker. Leading us right into step number 3, which is getting back into your morning routine and implementing those micro habits that you had before back in. A productive morning equals a productive day. One of the main and most popular examples is a book that is called Make Your Bed, or the Make Your Bed theory. Basically meaning the first thing you do as soon as you get up is you make your bed. This gives you that instant feeling of accomplishment, which will therefore lead you to do more accomplishing things and get more things done throughout the day. And I actually do this, and I will say it definitely helps in a certain way, meaning when I get up and I make my bed, there is no option for me to get back into bed. Once the bed is made, that is when the day starts. Now, step number 4 is just as important, if not more important, as step number 3. And that is setting yourself up for success. And that is with a night routine. Now, I know a lot of people say there's no such thing as a good morning routine without a good night routine. And let me tell you, I did not believe them until I actually started integrating it myself. And it really is all about just making tomorrow easier. If today is hard, it'll make tomorrow easier. Get it done now so that tomorrow is easier. You are setting yourself up for success every single day by actually taking control. An example of setting yourself up for success with a good night routine would be to lay your clothes out the night before. This way, in the morning, you don't even have to think about what you're gonna wear because you've already thought about it. So as soon as you wake up and you make your bed, you can immediately put those clothes on, whether it's your gym clothes so that you're already wearing them, so that therefore you will go to the gym and get that done. Whatever your night routine is, diaries, and I'm sure there are thousands of videos, including mine, that can explain and kind of give you some ideas of a night routine that sets you up for success. But that is just one example that is so super small, that really only takes a few minutes the night before, that can really impact you the next day, along with a ton of other things. Now, for step number 5, this really is the best way for that first week where you're still feeling a little unmotivated, you haven't fully gotten back into your routine, and that is creating realistic goals that you know you're gonna achieve, so that by the end of the week you feel super accomplished. Now, this goes kind of hand in hand with what I was talking about earlier, is when I plan out for my week and I set deadlines and things that I have to do, and by the end of the week I can look back and see all the ticks of everything that I've gotten done. It really does feel super accomplishing, because if it wasn't written out and shown where I can look back and see everything that I've done this week, I really wouldn't know. Having that there where you can physically in the moment check that off and feel that accomplishment at the end of the week, when you look back and you see everything that you got done, it makes you want to stay productive and keep doing these things so that you can continue to feel accomplished every day. It really is important to set realistic goals, something that you know that you will get done this week. Now, during these first few days and the first few weeks of getting back into it, you cannot forget to put in the time to do the things you love. Because I know if I had set out to be like, I'm gonna be super productive this week and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna get everything done, I would be burnt out by the end of the week. I'd be like, oh my god, that was such a hard week, that was so tough, like I need to take a break already. You're not setting yourself up for success, okay? You want to bring in those energy givers, okay? You want to make sure that you are putting in the time to also have a mental break and to reset, whether that's going to the bookstore and going with a friend and having coffee and looking at books for a little bit, or if that's getting out into nature and taking a walk in the park and getting some sunshine, some vitamin D, or whether it's going to the gym, if that's something you enjoy like I do, and getting those endorphins in and feeling good. Those things are just as important as being productive, because you need to be able to do things within self-care that are actually going to help you recoup. I even like to keep a little running list of energy givers, things that actually help me to relax and feel good, so that at the end of this mental break, I actually feel motivated to go back and do things that are productive. And I wasn't just scrolling on my phone, which is step number 7, limit your screen time. Just because you did a bunch of stuff for the last 8 hours does not mean you should be scrolling on your phone for 4 hours at the end of the day, because really that is not a brain break. That is not giving yourself a rest. That is not self-care. Limiting your screen time really is the best way to actually feel mentally rejuvenated and not consistently in this mental fog because of so much stimulation. When you're on your phone and you're scrolling through Instagram, your brain is still going a million miles a minute. Find something to do in your free time that isn't scrolling on your phone. It could be as much as going to the beach and watching the sunrise and not taking the time to actually take in what's going on around you. Put your phone down, watch the sunrise, watch the ocean, listen to the sounds, whatever it is. Actually set yourself up to do other things outside of being productive that is mentally recharging you, so that by the end of it, you actually feel motivated to go back and do the productive things. You say, hey, I had a great time relaxing. I had a great time actually recharging. I'm ready to get back into it again. When you set that time aside, you're less likely to hit a burnout quicker. Which leads us right into step number 8, which is avoiding a burnout. AKA, what are your signs for an upcoming slump? This is where the self-awareness comes back into play, is noticing when you feel yourself getting back into that cycle. For me, that is when my room is a complete and utter disaster. A clean space is a clean mind. So, for example, of course, right when I got back from my 2-week vacation in Scotland, started up the birthday festivities. Okay, so not only did I have a suitcase and other luggage that needed to be unpacked, but then I also had gifts and bags and packaging and all this stuff just piled up. So there was just so much stuff that by the time I got back, I was so mentally exhausted that I didn't even want to clean my room. I said, I need a day to recoup. And then I just didn't clean my room. And it kept going and it kept going. And then finally I was like, I need to clean up this space, because every time I walk in here, I immediately am like, oh my gosh, it immediately gives me anxiety. I need to have a clean space in order to feel any sort of productiveness. I tell you, I flip of a switch and put everything away, vacuumed, all the things I needed to do. And when I tell you that next morning, I felt amazing. Immediately I was like, a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders because I wasn't surrounded by clutter and mess. I could freely think and clearly have my thoughts together. So whatever that cue is for you, where you can say, hey, these are the signs, we gotta fix this, we gotta get it back together. Make sure you have that and you are aware and you understand what that is, so that you don't let yourself fall back into that cycle of a slump. And I was in a slump and I didn't even know it, because I wasn't self-aware enough to realize, hey, here's all these cues that you're not productive right now, you're not motivated right now, like you're just laying in bed not wanting to do anything. So you have to have that there so that you can actually realize that you're in a slump and then be able to get yourself out of it. Step number 10, which is changing your perception of a slump. Really, what a slump is either a mental burnout, a physical burnout, or an emotional burnout. If you think about it, it really just means that you need to take a break. So before you get to that point, you have to change your perception of saying, oh my gosh, I'm so burned out and I'm in a slump right now, to, hey, I need to take a break. I need to step back. I need to cancel plans with family, or really just take away any other thing that I was prioritizing and prioritize myself before it's too late and I hit that burnout. So instead of hitting it and realizing it's happening, be like, oh my gosh, I'm falling back into my old habit. You have to change your perception as, I need a break. I need to step back and to not give up, okay? Taking a break is not taking a step in the wrong direction. Taking a break is allowing your body to fully recharge so that you can come back stronger the next time. You need to realize in these times that instead of having those doubts in your head, to be kind to yourself and realize right before it's gonna get really, really good, you're gonna want to give up. There's all these stories of athletes and singers and actors who were saying right before they found success, they were in probably one of the worst times of their life and one of the lowest points of their life. So you have to take this as, things may be tough right now, things may be rough, I may be exhausted, but success could be right there in front of me before I even see it. So don't give up, because you never know when success is gonna hit you. And don't have negative thoughts, because negative thoughts turn into negative actions, and next thing you know, your whole life is gonna be negative and you're gonna be in a slump. So instead, have the positive thoughts and keep pushing forward to create positive actions. I definitely have to say, before I end this video, this past year, I definitely feel as though I've been in somewhat of a slump. I graduated college and had absolutely no direction of where I was going to go, and I felt a little lost, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do until I kind of started taking steps forward to just work on myself. I'm gonna change the perception. I'm not in a slump right now. I'm just taking the time to sit back and really take a good look at myself, so that moving forward, I have the exact direction I want to go, and I know that I'm going to be the best version of myself doing those things. And these are my tried and true steps to making sure that when life hits and things kind of lose gravity a little bit, we can bring it back down to earth, so that we are not holding ourselves back from what we truly deserve. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I don't usually do these types of videos, but I thought it would be fun to try something new out. So if you did and you liked it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up so that I know. And if you want, leave the star emoji down in the comments below if you made it all the way to the end of this video. And I also will have my Instagram linked down below for you guys if you want to go ahead and follow me for some more daily content. But don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notifications so that you never miss a new video. And I will see you guys next week with some very fun fall fashion coming your way, and you're not going to want to miss it. But I appreciate you, and I will see you next week.